Kembo natatanzambi yamanzulu kinfumu kiakuyisa. Hallelujah. All praises to the Most High. Greetings to the Benanzambe Congo, the dispersed and outcast of Isolele in the eastern and western hemisphere. I pray that the Mwandan Semi, the Spirit of the Most High, dwelleth with you forever. Ingeta. Now welcome. In this live episode, we'll be talking about the preparations for the Jewish Messiah and the new temple. So invite some people to come in and share the link, share the live feed, and let some people know, inform them that we are live right now. Yes, so take a minute to like the video and to share this live feed right now. So go ahead, do it right now. All right, so I believe you have liked the video, you've given it a thumbs up. Yes, I believe you have shared the live feed, you have invited some people to come in and to join us. So we're gonna start with this episode. So I will share my screen so you can all see. We will start with a video, okay, from the Temple Institute. We will start with a video of the Temple Institute where about the temple, about the Holy Temple. So let's go there.
You know anything about the Holy Temple and what it means?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Nothing. I don't know, I never really thought of it, I guess.
שיבנה בית המקדש? ברור, כולנו רוצים שבית המקדש ייבנה, לא?
That's a really loaded question, man. I mean, that's not like a simple question.
אחת שאלה.
נכון?
תן לי חצי שעה, יומיים לחשוב על זה. מלחמת עולם שלישית, זה הדבר הראשון שקפץ לי לראש.
Would it change something, I don't know, to the Jews?
Of course. It's a big part of the Jewish religious identity, you know, having the temple, a place of worship.
Because it's a redemption of our culture. It's who we are as a people. We're coming back to who we are.
Everything.
It's just a dream that we have.
We have to live the present and dream. If we don't have dreams, we don't have anything, right?
It doesn't mean much to me as I'm not a religious person.
I can't even answer that question. I can't even imagine it. But I think everything would change.
I'm not really sure that we even know this, really. I mean, it should change our whole level of consciousness of how we live our lives. To have God's presence so visible and so clear.
כולם יהיו פחות טרודים, יהיו יותר נינוחים, יהיו פחות עסוקים במה חושבים עליהם. כאילו שיבנה המקום, כולם יהיו על מקומם. נראה לי אנחנו בהפרה מוחלטת כזו, וכשיבנה המקום אז נחזור למקומנו.
קודם כל, שלום בין כל המדינות, אוקיי? אנחנו אומרים שהיהודים יהיו נס לגויים, זה לא מתוך התנסות, אלא כל הגויים יבינו שאלוקים הוא המלך, ויבואו והוא איתנו, אוקיי? זה הרעיון של נס לגויים, זה הגאולה, לאו דווקא בית המקדש.
Would it affect the nation or peace or something global?
You would hope, you know, Hatikva, you're always hoping that, you know, cooperation and working together and building something that'll last will bring peace to both nations.
I mean, I would hope so, but I don't know if it would. It would probably take some time before we can continue to establish ourselves as a nation that can be that or Lagoyim, that light into the nations.
A lot happened this year, not just Meron, a lot of things that just doesn't make sense. And I think it's a wake-up call for all of us, and I think hopefully it's coming soon, because I don't know how else to explain any of it. So.
Everyone will be equal, and we're going to live happy, in peace.
The temple is going to be the greatest building in the world. It's going to be a place that will bring good to all nations. Read the Bible, it's written there. I mean, you don't have to ask me, come on.
Nobody's going to be jealous of each other. Nobody's going to be poor or stuff like that. The whole world is going to be very wise, very happy, very healthy.
Every religion is welcome. So that's why I think that way.
So you would come to the Holy Temple to pray with all the nations together?
Yes, all together, all religion.
It would be nice sometime in the future, maybe in messianic times, when everyone can pray together. We're all praying to the same God, just different words.
The world will be one, and the God's only one. All peoples come to the one. That's written. It's my belief.
We all have the same God eventually. We all believe in the same God.
All the people in the world will understand that there is one God.
מקום שמאחד בין הדתות, האמת שזה יכול להביא לא יודעת, אולי זה הפתרון לכל המלחמות שקורות, כל המלחמות דת.
כן, בית המקדש היה פותר את ה...
יכול להיות מקום מרכזי שמאחד בין כל הדתות. אם היה... לא יודעת, כן, נראה לי.
אין בתולדות האנושות מקום שכולם מגיעים אליו מתוך אידיליה ורואים בו כמקום של שלום. אין, כל תולדות האנושות אין את זה. אז אתה בא פה עם איזשהו קונספט חדש. אם הקונספט הזה יכול לעבוד, אני הראשון קונה את הכרטיס VIP.
Do you know anything about...
All right. Now that's it. This is a video from the Jewish Temple Institute in Jerusalem. They are focused on rebuilding the temple. Okay, that's the mission. So they do all the preparations. They they claim to have prepared all the vessels needed for the Jewish temple. Every day they prepare a red heifer, or every year, whatever. They have this red heifer that is needed for the ceremonial cleansing and anointing of the temple, etc. And so this is the Jewish Institute. That's the website. Now in this video they said a lot of things, right? One of the questions that they ask is, will the new temple, the temple of the Jews in Palestine, yes, in an occupied geographic place, in an occupied land, Palestine, will that temple of the Jewish people bring peace to the world? Now, that's a huge question, right? I think this is a huge question. Now, before we continue, hey, welcome to this live episode. Please like and share this video. Invite some people to come in and tell me, how are you all doing today? Hallelujah. How was your week? As we are preparing for the Samba. How are you all doing? So, let's say, will the Jewish temple on the Temple Mount, well, they want to build a Jewish temple on the Temple Mount, yes, will it bring peace to the world? That was one of the questions they asked. Yeah? That guy with the microphone asked the question. Now, for me, that is very, very strange. Why? Because since 1948, and ever since the presence of the Jewish people in Palestine, they have never known peace, right? They have never known peace. But the Bible tells us that when the people, the Israelites, return to the land of the ancestors, there will be peace. And the whole world will be filled with what? The knowledge of Nzambi, the knowledge of God. But anyway, it's a very profound question. Will the temple that they are planning to build, they have done all the preparation, yeah? The Jewish Temple Institute is ready for it. You have people fighting for it, fighting to make it happen. But ever since the Jewish people, through Zionism, have taken hold of Palestine, there has never been peace in the so-called Middle East. They're always fighting. There's always tensions. There's always something going on. Killings, bombings, etc. What do you all think? What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the chat. Will the Jewish temple, yes, bring peace to the world? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat. I'm curious. I want to know what you think. Many Christians will say, yes, of course. But what are your thoughts? Let me know. Someone in this video who was interviewed, who was asked this question, said that the Jewish temple, when the Jewish temple is there, the Jewish people will be a light to the nations, a light to the Goyim. Are they? Have they ever been? Have the Jewish Ashkenazi Jewish people ever in the history of mankind ever been a light to the nations? Really? Big question mark over there. Big question mark. Do you know that the head rabbi, I'm talking about the head rabbi. Now, let me just go there and show you. Yeah? So when they are talking about bringing peace to the world, yes, when they're talking about being a light for the nations, my goodness. Let me give me a moment. Let me look it up. I wanted you to know this. Let me show you this one here. Let me look for it. It's a video. I forgot the title of it. So let me just allow me to search for it. Give me a moment. Bear with me. I forgot the title. Okay.
After the defeat of Mark Antony and Cleopatra, Rome demanded that the...
Okay, I think I found it. Okay, now the chief rabbi of the Israeli people, the Jewish people, called the Africans monkeys, yes, wild beasts. But they want to be the light of the world. They want to be the people who bring peace to the world, equality to the world, harmony to the world. But if you study how they behave themselves, how can these people, with the Talmud in one hand, which is full of, transgressions, bring harmony, peace, tranquility, equality in the world and be a light of the nations? I have a huge question mark, But for those who are still sleeping the Christian sleep, they will say yes. When the Jewish temple is built, the Jewish Messiah appears, there will be peace. Now, for you Christians, okay, the Jewish people believe Jesus not to be the Messiah. You, as a Christian, of course, you believe that Jesus is the Messiah. They reject Jesus. Always have. And they don't even believe that the Messiah has to be a man who performs miracles. But the Messiah to them is a fighter, a warrior, one who will fight the Jewish wars and give them victory over all their enemies. Yes, all those who they label as anti-Semitic nations who are against the state and the existence of the so-called Jewish people, who are actually Ashkenazi, they are Jewish pretending to be something that they are not. Ashkenazi Jews, that's who they are. They are people who came from the Caucasus Mountains. They converted to Judaism, but they have nothing to do with the ancient Israelites who came from Egypt, who descended from Egypt. Yes. They have nothing to do with the prophecy in Hosea that says, I have called my son from Egypt. When Egypt was a child, when Israel, Yiseka'yah, was a child in Egypt, I loved him. And I called my son out of Egypt. They were never there. These Kadian Pemba were never there. They were never in Egypt. They came from the Caucasus Mountain. And yet they claim that they will be the light to the nations. They will be the ones to bring peace, tranquility, harmony, equality to the whole world. How wonderful. Yes, but they will take your land, rob you from your resources, steal your house. Goodness. Kadia Pemba. All right, let's watch this. Pay attention. You see, there's this guy, the chief rabbi in Israel, compared African to monkeys. And people are looking to them for guidance, right? Oh, the Jewish people will guide us. Allow them to build the temple. Oh, we are awaiting the Messiah. With the Talmud in their hand, full of abominations. You are praising them. Ignorance will kill you. Yeah, look at those. You see? You see that? They had a monkey for a son. Had a rabbi in Israel, in the state of Israel. He says, when a white person and a black person have a son, they have a monkey for a son. And he did not apologize for it. Yes, of course it was so-called condemned by many Jews, but don't believe it. When they say condemned, they're not really condemning it, you know. No way. There are, back then, because it's an old video, there are then 38,000 African refugees in Israel. Yes, 38,000 African refugees in Israel. What have they done with those refugees? Israel built a big holding facility, aka prison. And they have put all those Africans, they put all those Africans in that holding facility. Some of them, they sent back. They made this deal with Rwanda. So they gave Rwanda millions to receive these African refugees and to put them in containing, holding facilities in Rwanda. Oh my goodness. Rwanda is something else, working together with those Kadiampemba wicked nations against the Africans. So you Africans, I don't understand you. You are fleeing from so-called crisis in your own country and you go to Israel. Israel, the state of Israel has been hating Africans since ancient times, okay? For centuries, hating Africans. What are you doing there? Why are you fleeing to a country that hates your black skin? You come there, you are discriminated, you are spit on, you are beaten, you are humiliated, you are imprisoned in that so-called holding facility. What are you doing there? I understand. If you have crisis in your own country, you try to look for better opportunities to build your life, right? Maybe you have children, maybe you have a family. You want to give them a better chance of a good life. But consider other countries, man. You go there, small country, they hate Africans, they call you monkeys, they lock you up, they sell you out to Rwanda. But look at this, seeking asylum. Look at those conditions. Seeking asylum. The state of Israel looks like this. It's not normal. So, President or Prime Minister Netanyahu back then believed that the Africans were the biggest safety threat to the country. Yes, that is how they think. That is how the Jewish people, maybe not all of them, but the collective, the majority, thinks like this. The majority of the Jewish people in the state of Israel think like this. And the former prime minister considered Africans, Negroes, what they called Kushi, the biggest safety threat to the country. But you, African Christian, will continue to praise these Israeli people, right? Oh, they are the people of God. But they hate your black skin. Kushi, that's what they call you. Negro. They hate you. They call you monkey. Yes?
מתקפות חמורות של גורמי הטרור בסיני, והדבר הנורא ביותר, הצפה של מסתננים
The flood of illegal infiltrators from Africa. Something far worse. They said, this is horrible. Those African infiltrating our country, our holy Jewish-only country, exclusive for the European Jews. Ashkenazi, so-called Jewish people. It's only for us. But now we have this flood of illegal infiltrators from Africa. Okay. Yes. You see? Now, in this video, talking about the Jewish temple. Yes, will it bring peace to the world? They think to be the light of the nations. So they will be light, for the nations. They will bring illumination. They will bring love, harmony, equality, tranquility. They will bring all of that to the world. Are they manifesting those qualities right now? Yes? Answer me in the chat. Are the Jewish people manifesting those qualities right now to the Palestinians? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Are they manifesting love, peace, equality to the people they called Kushi, Negroes, Africans? Are they manifesting it? Yes or no? Answer in the chat. I will wait for it. No, they are not. They're not. They discriminate on blacks in Israel. Like crazy. Oh my goodness. Oh, beloved. So, that nonsense. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, okay. Now, let's have a look at this video.
Israelis who dared to protest. About 60,000 Africans have arrived in Israel on harrowing treks through the Sinai Desert, fleeing poverty, persecution, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. As refugee camps across Africa fill up and Europe closes its gates to asylum seekers, Israel became the next best option, accessible by land and said to be a developed democracy. But instead of providing them with safe haven, Israel is both refusing to grant them any benefits and denying them the ability to work legally to support themselves. Faced with poverty and exploitation, a new nightmare unfolded.
עדיין לא מאוחר, אפשר מחר לעשות מעשה, להתחיל לאסוף את המסתננים, לא צריך לחכות לבג"ץ, לא צריך שום דבר. אני רואה חיה מחוץ לבית שלי, יריקות, פסיכופטים.
This woman, look at this devil. Outside I see Kushi, she says, right? Spit. Psychopaths. Waiting for the chance to murder me. Really? Really? So you think Africans are fleeing the crisis in the countries to go to Israel to murder you, white-skinned Jewish girl? They are just waiting for the chance to murder you. That's the reason they fled the crisis in the country, right? To go there and murder your white-ass Ashkenazi, Kadian Pemba, skin. Man, it's crazy.
אנחנו גזענים. אנחנו גזענים כדי לרצות לשמור על החיים שלנו ועל השפיות שלנו. אבל אני גאה להיות גזענית. אני גאה להיות גזענית.
I'm proud to be a racist.
בשביל לשמור על החיים שלי, אני גאה.
I'm proud to be... And these are Israelis, right? Israelis, the people who are to bring the light to the nations. Equality. Harmony. Huh? They are preparing for the Jewish temple that will bring peace to the whole world. Are they manifesting love? Are they manifesting, the need for harmony, quality, being a light for the nations, what they call them goyim? Are they manifesting those qualities? No, they are not. What do they manifest? Hate. Hate for any other nations who does not look like them. Especially the Cushi, the Negro, the Moorish, the black. But black Christians will still be praising these people. Yes, we have to pray for them, brother. They are the promised people of God. They are just lost. I will not pray for them never again. Okay? I have stopped with that foolishness praying for those Kadi and Pemba identity usurpers. We're the people. We're the people. Let me say that again. We the people. Benanzambi, Benakongo. We are the ancient Israelites. We are the people of the book. And by the way, the Torah, the Bible, is nothing but plagiarized wisdom from our ancestors. Okay? They manipulate it. They change things up. They change the characters. Yeah, they made some things up. Some stories in the Bible are completely fiction. But, goodness.
While protests raged in the streets against the presence of asylum seekers from Africa, the man who held the power to determine their fate, Deputy Prime Minister Yiseka'yah, demanded their expulsion.
אם ייתנו לי את כל הכלים, ואני פועל להשיג את כל הכלים, וזה לא קל. אם ייתנו לי את כל הכלים בלי יוצא מן הכלל, תוך פחות משנה לא יישאר בארץ ישראל אפילו מסתנן אחד.
And the few isolated Israelis who dared to protest, like this woman, were met with a harsh backlash.
And by the way, this is a video from 2013, but Israel has not changed. Okay? Even though it's an old video, Israel has not, the situation remains the same. It remains the same. The disposition remains the same towards black people. You are not welcome.
At the anti-African rallies we documented, one figure was ubiquitous, a member of Knesset named Michael Ben Ari. In August 2010, we interviewed him at his Knesset office.
יש להם שם בית. מה זה גירוש? איזה גירוש? הם שווים הביתה. כל מדינה בעולם מתוקנת הייתה עושה את זה. נהפוך להיות מדינת הגירה, אבל יש כאלה שעוינים את המדינה. ולכן הם רוצים להפוך אותה למדינת אזרחי כל העולם. נביא לפה 1,000,000 אפריקאים, 500,000 פיליפינים, 2-3 מיליון סינים, ושלום על ישראל.
למה זה מאיים שיהיו פה 1,000,000 אפריקאים?
זה מאיים כי לא תהיה פה מדינה יהודית. כי המדינה שלנו שונה ממדינות אחרות. המדינה שלנו היא מדינה יהודית ודמוקרטית. זה איזון מאוד מאוד לא פשוט, זה יכול להיות תרתי דסתרי.
And listen, he is right though. You know, he's right. They have taken Palestine and made it a Jewish state. Okay? It's not called Israel. Do you listen? It's not called Israel. It's the Jewish state. So he's right when he says, you know, this country, this nation is the Jewish state for the Jewish people. But anyway, they are just Kadian Pemba will be Kadian Pemba. Alright? And they are always talking about Africans. Right? When Africans come, we lose our Jewish state. What's your problem with Africans? Because they know that they usurped the identity of the people they call Kushi, who are the true, biblical, historical Israel. Yisolele.
של התבוללות בעולם, ישנה התבוללות של 70-80% במקומות מסוימים בעולם. זאת אומרת, עם ישראל הולך לאיבוד. לי עם ישראל יקר.
Ben-Ari is known for leading nationalist marches through Arab neighborhoods inside Israel, where he antagonizes, intimidates, and menaces Arab citizens. On the holiday of...
Okay, enough of this. Let's go. Now, we have this rabbi, Chaim Kanivsky. Yes, Chaim Kanivsky. Chaim Kanivsky. Now, this was one of the profound rabbis among the Jewish people. He died in March 18, 2022. But let's read about this rabbi. The things he said about the Messiah. Okay. Here, I think it's this one. Yeah, this is a Rabbi Chaim Kanivsky, right? Chaim Kanivsky. Israeli rabbi says he's already holding meetings with Messiah. Now, whose Messiah is that, right? He's already holding meetings, all right. A recent interview, let me enlarge it a little bit. A recent interview on Israeli radio featured prominent rabbis explaining that the Messiah is just about to reveal himself. Really? Watch this video. Okay, this one here. The Jewish Messiah revealed. Yiseka'yah ben David. Yeah, Yiseka'yah, son of David. You can watch the videos from a year ago. But it will explain some things to you. Okay, so they believe the Messiah is already here. And this Rabbi Kanivsky said that he is already living. He was born, you know, he prophesied his birth to people. He informed the Jewish community back then, when he was still alive, that the Messiah, that he has been meeting with the Messiah, speaking with the Messiah, right? And that the Messiah will soon be revealed. Now, Rabbi Yaakov told Religious Broadcaster Radio 2000 that Rabbi Chaim Kanivsky, who passed away earlier this year, had told him that he Kanevsky was already in direct contact with the Messiah. To understand why religious Jews are taking this seriously, it's important to know that Rabbi Chaim Kanevsky was considered one of the 2 or 3 top rabbis of the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community in the state of Israel. And Rabbi Zischoltz says that Kanevsky and others of the mystical concealed rabbis had taken him with informing the public of the Messiah's imminent arrival. And so his arrival is imminent, can happen at any time, that he will reveal himself to the public, to the world. Yes, and okay, cool. Rabbi Schietsolds began his explosive 3-hour interview with a warning. The process of redemption is about to start happening very quickly and at a fast pace. It is important that people remain calm and steady to act properly in the right time. Yeah, the process of redemption. Redemption from what? Right? Redemption from war is coming. That's what he's saying. Yeah? War is coming. That's what these rabbis are alluding to. Okay? So people need to remain calm and steady to act properly in the right time. There is a potential Messiah in every generation, and there are righteous men who know precisely who it is. Now, those righteous men are, let me say, in their understanding, pious rabbis. Yes, revered rabbis in their Jewish circle. This is, of course, true in this generation. Now, let me make something very clear. I don't hate the Jewish people. Hate is not of the Most High. Hate is darkness. Hate is of the Kadian Pemba devil. Yes, we don't hate, but we do stand for the truth. And when you stand for the truth, you can judge in the light of the truth. Okay? But I don't discriminate. I'm not a racist. I don't hate anyone. I don't hate the Jewish people. Yes, okay? That's it. So don't say, hey, now be careful, hates them, man. He's racist. No, I'm not. I'm just bringing forward the truth of Tatanzambe, the unfiltered, uncompromised, unapologetic truth of Tatanzambe and Pumutulendo. And I'm just reading what they themselves are saying, okay? These are not my words. Getting the word out now that the Messiah is closer than ever is a matter of life and death. You see this? It's a matter of life and death. You all need to know. All the Jewish people need to know. The world need to know that the Jewish Messiah, his arrival or his manifestation, his appearing is what? Imminent. According to what they say. Haven't you heard of Gog and Magog? Now what's Gog and Magog? Gog and Magog alludes to the Third World War. Yes. That's why they said here the process of redemption is about to start happening. They are alluding here war. Yes, where they actually saying that they will redeem themselves from the Arabic nations among them, those who hate and those who fight and those who resist, and even African nations. If you are resisting them, they will kill you. That's what they call the Gog and Magog. It's the holy war that their Messiah, in their beliefs, will fight for their redemption, to save the Jewish people, to redeem them from their enemies. According to messianic Jewish prophecies and the Bible. This is what is going to happen very soon, the Gog and Magog war. Right now, the situation is explosive, more than you can possibly imagine. You see, people are sleeping. People are sleeping. The media is not talking about this, right? Prophetic channels are not talking about this. People are sleeping. But they say this situation is explosive, more than you can imagine, possibly imagine. Everyone needs to know whether they are on the inside or if they are going to be left out. Are you for the Jewish people or against us? That's what they say. Are you with us or against us? These people, they are gangster. These people are gangsters. They are the true gangsters in the world. Yes, and America is the big brother, the one who bullies the whole world. The two of them. Yes. America and the state of Israel. The two of them. He went on to reiterate a number of signs of which prominent rabbis have taken note and that they firmly believe to be evidence of the coming Messiah. Rabbi Dov Cook, as everyone knows, is a very righteous man. Righteous man. He is one of the greatest men of our generation. Yes, greatest man. And 10 years ago, when Israel was suffering from a horrible drought, someone asked Rabbi Cook when the Sea of Galilee will again be full. Rabbi Cook responded that when the Messiah arrives, the Sea of Galilee will be full. In a few weeks, the Sea of Galilee will be full for the first time since Rabbi Cook made this statement. He prophesied. Yes? As Jonathan will say, he prophesied. Another righteous rabbi said that according to the current situation in heaven, there will not be Israeli elections. Rather, there will be war. Are you ready for war, people? Are you ready for the war? The Jewish rabbis are ready for the war. The appearance of the Jewish Messiah, according to them, is imminent. If the elections do take place, it's pointless since it will end like the other elections. No government will come out of it. Decades ago, Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, one of the modern Israel's most revered sages, as well as the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Scheerson, both predicted that Benjamin Netanyahu would be the state of Israel's last prime minister prior to the messianic age. They do have another prime minister, right? A great many, if not most of the ultra-Orthodox Jews in Israel continue to believe that to be true. So they continue to believe that they are in the season where the Jewish Messiah will make his appearance. And war will take place. The signs of the coming Messiah. Now Israel, it's the rabbi, he was named, I forgot his name. Israel is about to go to the polls for a third election, he says, back then. Let's see, Rabbi Shlomo Amar, the former Sephardic chief rabbi of Israel, told a gathering earlier this month that the list of significant signs over the past year simply cannot be ignored. Israel seems unable to elect a government is a sign. US President Trump, the most powerful leader in the world, has, like King Cyrus, endorsed Jewish sovereignty in the Promised Land. That is the second sign to them, right? For the imminent appearance of the Messiah. The kings of the world came up to Jerusalem last month to honor the Jewish people. Now, that's the third sign, according to them. So these are things we never dreamed of. Never. Claimed Rabbi Amar. How can these things be if not as preparation for the coming of the Messiah? Messiah is at the door. Hey, people, Messiah, my goodness, what is this? Messiah is at the door. Now, this was from Rabbi, what was his name? Chaim Kanivsky. Messiah is born, claims a new rabbi, says the end time is here. The end time is here. A shocking claim. Rabbi Chaim Kanivsky, one of the world's leading Jewish scholars, revealed he believes the Jewish Savior was born this Saturday, according to Daily Star, etc. So, like I said, he believed, he told his colleagues, rabbis, that he was in direct contact with the Messiah, right? Now, who is Messiah to the Jewish people? Who is Messiah to the Jewish people? Moshiach. The messianic redemption will be ushered in by a person, a human leader. Yes, not a demigod, a human leader, a descendant of kings, David and Solomon, who will reinstate the Davidic royal dynasty. So he must be of the house of David. Okay, so when they presented a candidate for the Jewish Messiah title, there was this guy, Yiseka'yah ben David. Yiseka'yah, son of David. That is how they called him. They presented him as a candidate to be the Messiah. And later, they backed away from it. But anyway, they are talks about the imminent appearance of the Messiah. They're telling the whole world, be prepared. Because when the Messiah appears, what? The Jewish people will be redeemed. And they're talking about the Gog and Magog war, where they will destroy the Arabic nations and all nations who criticize. The first to be destroyed will be the Palestinians. Okay? Those poor people there, the Palestinians, they will be the first to be destroyed. They will send a few rockets and destroy the whole of Palestine, the whole of Palestine. And then they will fight against Iraq, Iran, Egypt, all the nations that will dare to come against them. They will fight them. There will be a war, what they call the Gog and Magog war, and they believe that their Jewish Messiah, the son of David, will fight for them. He will be a warrior to lead the armies into battle. I don't even believe that this man will be in the battlefield himself. He will just command the army. He will just send the army, because that's what they do today. The kings don't go to war. They just command the army from their office. Right? They don't go to war. They don't know how to fight. But they say, okay, let us continue, because it will explain itself. And so he will reinstate the Davidic royal dynasty according to the tradition. Messiah will be wiser than Solomon and a prophet around the level, majesty of Moses. Now, there's a huge mystery surrounding David, the historic David, and Solomon. We will talk about that one day. I don't know if people are ready to really dig into the historical facts of who David really is and Solomon. All right? Because many, like I said, the Bible is a plagiarized book. The Bible is completely plagiarized from Egyptian wisdoms, yes, and history. Most characters in the Bible they are not what you think they are. Okay, they are not who you think they are. Okay. Let me say this. When Israel, it's Hosea, I think Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child in Egypt, I loved him. Where? In Egypt. Hosea 11:1. When he grew, now if you are a child in Egypt, right? And you are growing up. As you grow up, you receive all your basic, fundamental, elementary studies, instructions, and etc. Right? Israel received it in Egypt. Israel became learned and matured in Egypt. Think about that. Okay? Think about that. Why is that written in the Bible? Why does the prophet allude to that? Why is he saying that? So there are secrets in the Bible that people do not understand. Yes? People do not, and they do not know. Why? Because of religious systems which are put in place. Theology. Fixed theology put in place for you to follow the epistemology, what they have framed together, and you cannot deviate from it. Yes, if you do, they call you they call it heresy. They call you, someone who has fallen from grace, someone who has lost the faith, etc. They label you with all kinds of labels. That is the religious system. It's a prison. Yes, it's a prison. Do you understand? The religious system, it's a prison. It does not allow you to think outside of that box. Otherwise you go to hell. Ever since the destruction of the Holy Temple, in every generation there is an individual a scion of the house of David who has the potential to be the Moshiach. If at any moment the Jews are worthy of redemption, now what is that redemption? We discussed it. This person will be directed from above to assume the role of the Redeemer. Now, it's not really directed from above. There is just, the rabbis come together and they decide if he's fit to be anointed and appointed through the Jewish Sanhedrin, which is active right now, as the Messiah. It's not from above. They decide. The Sanhedrin, which is active in Israel, they decide if that person fits all the requirements. Okay, it's here. During the Messianic era, the Moshiach will serve a dual role. He will be a monarch, a king, ruling all of humanity with kindness and justice and upholding the law of the Torah, the 613 commandments for the Jews and 7 for the Goyim, the non-Jews. He will also be the ultimate teacher, the conduit for the deepest and most profound dimensions of the Torah, which will then be revealed by God, Hashem. Now the Jew is right now manifesting kindness and justice to the world. What's your answer? And the Jewish people right now manifesting kindness and justice to the world. When they call you monkeys, right? When they call the Palestinian people pigs, huh? When they call you Cushi, Negro, a criminal, murderer, because you are fleeing the crisis of your own country and seeking refuge in Israel. They say you are coming to murder and rape their wives. Are they manifesting kindness? Are they manifesting love? No, they're not. So, how will the appearance of the so-called Jewish Messiah, who just appeared to fight and kill people, change all of this? If there is no love in their hearts right now, if there's only hate for the black people in their hearts, how will they be deemed worthy to be the light to the nations, to bring equality, to bring harmony, right? Let's think about it. Now, how are we to identify the Messiah? Messiah is not identified by his ability to perform earth-shattering miracles. No. In fact, he isn't required to perform any miracles at all. No, you don't have to perform miracles. Just kill our enemies, man. Although the performance of miracles doesn't disqualify him either, but you are not required to perform any miracles. The following are the criteria for identifying the Moshiach, as written by Maimonides, or whatever you pronounce it. If we see a Jewish leader who A, toils in the study of Torah and is meticulous about the observance of the mitzvot, which are the laws, the commandments. B, influences the Jews to follow the ways of the Torah. And C, wages the battles of God. You see? Those are the 3 signs, the 3 points, criteria to identify the Moshiach. One, he's told us in the study of Torah, and he's meticulous about the observance of the mitzvot, which are the commandments. B, he influences the Jews to follow the ways of the Torah. C, he wages the battles of God, which is also called holy war. Yes, war against the Goyim, Gog and Magog. Such a person is the presumptive Messiah. If the person succeeded in all these endeavors and then rebuilds the holy temple in Jerusalem and facilitates the ingathering of the Jews to the land of Israel, then we are certain that he is the Moshiach. Okay, so he will not only have to prove himself by, studying the Torah, and influencing the Jews to follow the ways of the Torah, to wage the battles of God, holy wars, but he also has to build the holy temple and facilitate the ingathering of the Jews to the state of Israel. Now, when they say the ingathering of the Jews, they are not talking about you, okay? Your black behind will have to stay where you are right now. They are not talking about you. They're not talking about anyone who is black. When they say the gathering of the Jews, they are looking to Europe. They're looking to, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, all those European, Kadiampemba, who are Jewish. They will be gathered in. According to the prophecy, they are the persons they are alluding to when they say the ingathering of the Jews to the land of Israel. They do not recognize, they hate. You have seen the video, right? You have seen it, how they discriminate and how they are racist and proud to be racist. How they call you blacks, Kushi, monkeys. They hate you. So you have nothing to do in the state of Israel. Why are you there? You have nothing to do with those people, man. They are not for you. So, yeah, I think we're done. So the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, is at the door. Okay? The Jewish Messiah is at the door. Now, I'm curious. What do you all think of this? Let's just share your thoughts with me in the chat. Let's have a short conversation. I'm curious to know how you all think about this. Yes, so let me know in the chat. So are you eager to see the appearance of the Jewish Messiah? Right? The Jewish Messiah is at the door. And here at the Temple Institute, they have prepared. According to them, they have everything ready. Okay, they're just waiting for the right time to build the temple at the Mount.
The Holy Temple and what it means?
Nope.
Never heard of it.
Nothing. I don't know, I never really thought of it, I guess.
שיבנה בית המקדש? ברור, כולנו רוצים שבית המקדש ייבנה, לא?
That's a really loaded question, man. I mean, that's not like a simple question.
אחת שאלה. תן לי חצי שעה, יומיים לחשוב על זה. מלחמת עולם שלישית, זה הדבר הראשון שקפץ לי לראש.
Would it change something, I don't know, to the Jews?
Of course. It's a big part of the Jewish religious identity, having the temple, a place of worship.
Because it's a redemption of our culture. It's who we are as a people. We're coming back to who we are.
Everything. It's just a dream that we have.
We have to live the present and dream. If we don't have dreams, we don't have anything, right?
It doesn't mean much to me.
You know that the falsification of history started with the Roman Church, okay? With Constantine and his mother. Do you know that? So the falsification of history, falsifying history, started with the Romans, the Roman Church, Constantine and his mother. They are the pioneers of false, fabricated history. Now, not everything you read in history is correct. Even the things you read in some extra biblical text are correct. So we're living in a time where we must depend on the spirit of truth, the spirit of Nzambe Apungutulendo, Mwandansemi, to lead us into the complete and full truth. Because there are many lies. There are so many lies. Yes, and that's one of the reasons that the whole world one day, as the truth of Nzambi will be presented, the whole world, according to the prophecies, will say in one accord, in one consent, we have inherited lies from our fathers. Lies upon lies. Has there ever been a Jewish temple? Jewish Ashkenazi temple in Palestine? Big question mark, right? That's a big question mark. Has there ever been in history a Jewish Ashkenazi temple in Palestine? I'll leave it to you to answer that question.
I can't even answer that question. I can't even imagine it. I think everything would change.
I'm not really sure that we even know this, really. I mean, it should change our whole level of consciousness of how we live our lives, to have God's presence so visible and so clear.
כולם יהיו פחות טרודים, יהיו יותר נינוחים, יהיו פחות עסוקים במה חושבים עליהם. כאילו שיבנה המקום, כולם יהיו על מקומם. נראה לי אנחנו בהפרה מוחלטת כזו, וכשיבנה המקום אז נחזור למקומנו.
Will it bring peace to the world? Are you ready to receive peace?
שלום בין כל המדינות, אוקיי? אנחנו אומרים שהיהודים יהיו נס לגויים, זה לא מתוך התנסות, אלא כל הגויים יבינו שאלוקים הוא המלך, ויבואו והוא איתנו, אוקיי? זה הרעיון של נס לגויים, זה הגאולה, לאו דווקא בית המקדש.
Would it affect the nation or peace or something global?
You would hope, Hatikva, you're always hoping that, cooperation and working together and building something that'll last will bring peace to both nations.
I mean, I would hope so, but I don't know if it would. It would probably take some time before we can continue to establish ourselves as a nation that can be that, or Luyaluka that light into the nations.
A lot happened this year, not just Meron, a lot of things that just doesn't make sense. And I think it's a wake-up call for all of us, and I think hopefully it's coming soon, because I don't know how else to explain any of it. So
everyone will be equal, and we're going to live happy, in peace.
The temple is going to be the greatest building in the world. It's going to be a place that will bring good to all nations. Read the Bible, it's written there. I mean, you don't have to ask me, come on.
Nobody's going to be jealous of each other. Nobody's going to be poor or stuff like that.
Who controls all the banks? Eh? Who control the national banks? In America, the central banks. In America, in Europe. Yes. Who controls the central banks? There will be no poverty. We will all be equal. Yeah, right. As if.
Is going to be very wise, very happy, very healthy.
Every religion is welcome. So that's why I think that way.
So you would come to the Holy Temple to pray with all the nations together?
Yes, all together, all religion.
It would be nice sometime in the future, maybe in messianic times, when everyone can pray together. We're all praying to the same gods, just different words.
The world will be one, and the God's only one. All peoples come to the one.
The world will be one. You think so? You see? This brother is lost, man. The world will be one. My goodness.
As written, it's my belief.
We all have the same God, eventually. We all believe in the same God.
All the people in the world will understand that there is one God.
מקום שמאחד בין הדתות, האמת שזה יכול להביא לא יודעת, אולי זה הפתרון לכל המלחמות שקורות, כל המלחמות דת.
You know, but well, let me keep that to myself.
יכול להיות מקום מרכזי שמאחד בין כל הדתות. אם היה, לא יודעת, כן, נראה לי.
Do you know, there was only one kingdom, yes, and one spirituality in antiquity that has ever unified and illuminated the whole world, the whole ancient world. It was praised by everyone. Until today, people are in awe of it. Yes, they are in amazement for the ruins that they left behind. I'm talking about Kemet. Yes, I'm talking about Kemet. Kemet was the only kingdom, only spirituality, African spirituality, that truly brought peace, tranquility, illumination, wisdom, philosophy to the world. Yes. And from the teachings and the philosophies, the wisdom of those African people, the world built their religions and their democracy systems. Yes, it all came from African people in Kemet. And we are the only one, the Africans, who can truly, the Bena Congo, the Bena Nzambe, who can truly bring peace, harmony, equality in the world and be the light to the nations. Believe me, the temple of the Holy One will not be built amongst the Jewish people to unite the whole world. But what will happen? War will break out. They will fight, they will destroy each other, and they will look to Africa and they will try to invade Africa, as they have destroyed the countries over there. Yes, they will look to Africa and come for your lands. You can believe it or not. This is what will happen.
אין בתולדות האנושות מקום שכולם מגיעים אליו מתוך אידיליה ורואים בו כמקום של שלום. אין, כל תולדות האנושות אין את זה. אז אתה בא פה עם איזשהו קונספט חדש. האם הקונספט הזה יכול לעבוד? אני הראשון קונה את הכרטיס VIP.
Will it change your life? Will it change your life? I think lives will be changed, of course, but for good or bad, according to them, war is imminent. And the Jewish Messiah will come for the deliverance of the Jewish people to fight their wars against the enemies. So the appearance of the Jewish Messiah is imminent. Not my words. As you have seen, we have read the interviews, we have read the declarations of several rabbis. They are the ones saying and telling the world, those who have ears to hear, that the Messiah is already here. The Jewish Messiah is already here. He is among the greatest rabbis. They are in conversations. They are in the preparations. And they believe that this guy, whoever he is a good candidate to fulfill the role of the Messiah or Messiah. Are you ready for the Jewish Messiah? Are you ready for the temple? So, I am Nabi Kefas. Matondo for watching. Remember, I do have a Patreon, so go and check out my Patreon page. I have some exclusive content and teachings on my Patreon page. Last Samba, we had the Seminar Bukongo. For those who missed it, no worries, it was recorded. If you want to experience the seminar, to receive the teaching, go to my PayPal page, make a donation, or check the description box below, and I will give you access to the recording, so you can watch, you can learn. Hallelujah. I'm Nabi Kefas, Matondo, bless you, and remember, we are the people. We are Benanzambi, Benakongo, the people of the book. Bana Bilaka, the children of the promise. Yes. We are not just Africans, we are the sons of God. Bananzambi. Kembu, Kembu, Kembu. Natatanzambi. Yama Zulu. Ingeta.
Salama Beno Zulu.